Entry-level mining information. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and as usual we'll do the prices, have a look at what's going on in the news, and then have a chat about how a new starter can get into the industry. But first I'd just like to shout out to Andrew, who completed the DIY course in April. He sent us a message that he got a job with Prybar in New South Wales as an entry-level truck driver. So well done, Andrew. I hope you have a long and safe and profitable career. So let's have a look at copper. Copper's dropped by about $1,000 a tonne since we last looked at it a couple of weeks ago. That's got a fair bit to do with the US dollar price, as it's still coming in at $12,338 Australian, so that's still at all-time highs for an Australian price. So that keeps all the copper mines still ticking over, and they're looking to open more. Nickel's in the same boat. It's up at $23,115. And the gold price, if you've been watching it, has had a big sell-off in the last 2 days. It's gone down $100 an ounce. And the reason that that's happened is that the Fed in the US came out on Wednesday and said that they're probably going to have to raise interest rates because of the inflation that's around. But they said that it's only a small amount of inflation. So if it's only a small amount of inflation, most of the economists, or the way the economic theory rolls, is that you should sell your gold and have dollars. And that's what obviously a few people have done. But then the book also says that if you go into hyperinflation, then that's when you need your gold. So you just got to decide whether the US is in just a normal inflation mode or hyperinflation mode. And I'm going to go over to this guy's YouTube channel. His name's Mike Maloney. He does the Hidden Secret of Money videos. If you haven't checked these out, they're worth watching. It's got some good insight on how it all works. And the other one that I also recommend, which is a really good documentary series about money to watch, is The Ascent of Money. And particularly this one, the third episode, that deals with stock market crashes and bubbles, sort of things that we've got going on at the moment. But anyway, if you have a look at this photo that he's got here, this is lumber in the US, and this is lumber price 6 months ago, so last fall in the US, so that's spring over here in Australia, and that's how much $1,000 would buy you, and that's how much $1,000 of lumber you get for $1,000 of lumber in May 2021. So you decide whether that's just normal inflation or whether that's really high inflation, and for my mind that looks like it's really high inflation. Like I said, this guy's got some good ideas. Don't follow everything that he says, but this is a really good picture of what's going on with inflation in the US. And as you can see, it's not just a small amount of inflation that they've got going. So if we have a look at iron ore next, iron ore is $286 a tonne. It's gone back up again. That's more to do, well, it's China and India and everybody wanting to build stuff at the moment to try and bounce back from the pandemic, and that's what's going on with that. And which leads me over to this news article that came out yesterday, in WA about the mining sector, and it really illustrates just how vague an understanding the general media has about the industry. Because if you read it, they say that you need 33,000 workers, but all this bit up here is trade and degree jobs, but there's only one line in the whole thing about saying that they need machinery operators and drivers will be needed as well. And just to give you an idea, on a typical gold mine that's got a pit running, that's got an underground running, and it's got a mill running, that really only 30 to 35% of the jobs you require a degree or a trade for. The rest of the jobs are all on-site skilled jobs where you have to learn how the mill works and you have to learn how the mine works and what the jobs you have to do in the mine. All those are classed as unskilled labour. So when they say they need 33,000 workers, they probably need about 13,000 trade and degree jobs, and they need 20,000 people to work in the mine and on the mill and all those places that you're not easily able to skill up for. And I think that's one of the problems that a lot of people have, is that the media is just not onto it, where the entry-level jobs are for people that just want to go and start off driving an underground truck or start off as a nipper or a driller offsider. There's not a lot of that information around at the moment. Lastly, let's have a look at coal, and coal's gone up again purely because they've had a supply problem, and so that's up to $144 a tonne Australian, and which means that there are a number of new coal mining jobs being advertised, especially some underground coal mines that had been shut down that are reopening, so they're trying to get their old staff back there. It's not really a situation that you can take advantage of with lots of entry-level jobs, not like what's going on in the gold mines or the nickel mines or the copper mines. There's enough experienced people to choose from. And if you type underground into Seek, you'll see where all the jobs come up for the hard rock jobs. And if you go down, you'll see, like I said, there's some coal jobs coming up, but there's the nippers and trucks and lots of it everywhere. And you don't have to go down very far to see that you've got a entry-level mining job in New South Wales. And this has been up for 20 days now, which means that they've already probably gone through a group of people that haven't made it, and they're trying to turn some more people over and get them into the job. There's lots of jobs. It's on both sides of the country. You just need to show the employer that you know how their mine works. If you can do that, that's what's going to get you in. And again, there's jobs all over the country, various jobs in Queensland, WA. They're all asked for experience, but that's more of a wish, especially for truck drivers and nippers. The reality is that the employers have got no choice but to hire new starters. They don't like doing it because they end up turning over lots of people when they do it, simply because of the training process. And that's one of the reasons why the Intro to Underground Mining course was written. Teaches you everything that you need to know, and it gives you that space to learn it in your own time. Whereas if you go to a mine site, they'll put you through inductions, you sign your life away, and then if you've misunderstood or didn't get something or don't pick it up fast enough, then that can lead to a window seat, unfortunately. It's a hard industry because, you know, they start people on $90,000 to $110,000 a year. What other industry can you go into? And that's the starting. And then, you know, if you're lucky enough to get promoted after 6 or 12 months, you're up to $150,000 on service crew. There's a lot of money in it, so if you don't pick it up quick enough, the employers will move you on and move on to somebody else. I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any more questions that you want answered, please send them in, and if you can like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.